being casually relaxed? No, they are jumping like this. Why? They're under very heavy stress. And when they're put into the cabin, and the moment the bell rings, what happens? Bang! They run after that. They run. Now that is a thoroughbred. But if you take a jackass to the race course, this jackass walks so relaxed, comfortable, cool. He's not jumping like the thoroughbred. But then for the rest of his life, he will remain a jackass and he will never in life be able to perform like a thoroughbred. Now, folks, this sentence is very important. Remember, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. I repeat one more time. Babaji, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. And, folks, think about it. How come under the same set of circumstances, some people break records while others break themselves? How come? I repeat, under the same set of circumstances, how come some people break records while others break themselves? How come? Now, folks, let us not overrate this crisis and threat, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. Now, this crisis has impacted us three ways. One, impacted our life. Two, our livelihood. Three, our lifestyle. Now, how has it impacted our life? Folks, none of us know who will be in quarantine next. Nobody knows. And number two, what we do and where we go and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. Now, that is life. Now, second is the livelihood component. Now, folks, all over the world, there have been salary cuts, job cuts, businesses have closed, some permanently. In New York, almost 40 to 50% of the restaurant trade has closed permanently. So, Hiji, I was just reading that. It is closed permanently. And not only that, the government is not collecting taxes either because they're going broke too. Now, every country has three kinds of people. One, the super rich. Two, the mediocre. And three, the poor. Folks, the poor people are the worst hit. They're the daily wage earners. They work during the day, eat in the evening. They are the worst hit. Now, let us talk of the super rich. Super rich don't have any cash flow problem or livelihood problem. I was reading on Apple computers. They have $250 billion in cash reserve. Now, how can they have a cash flow problem? So, Hiji, are you with me, sir? Sohi, are you with me? Hello? Dr. Sohi, are you with me? Dr. Sohi, are you with me?
Anji, I am with you, sir.
Sohi, can you listen to me?
Yes.
I was talking that Apple Computers has $250 billion in cash reserve. How can they have a cash flow problem or a livelihood problem? They can't.
Yeah.
And I was reading just the article in September of Economic Times. Since the pandemic in the last 6 months, Mukesh Ambani's net worth has gone up by $22 billion. Did you know that? You know what $22 billion 6 months means? 90 crore per hour. Now, he doesn't have a cash flow problem either. Now comes mediocre people like you and me, possibly. Mediocre people are thinking, will the crisis finish before the money, or will the money finish before the crisis? Okay. Now, with that, see, every few years, there is a new buzzword come up. 5 years ago, the buzzword used to be startup, 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 so everybody was starting up. Then the new buzzword came, make in India, make in India, make in India. Everybody was making in India now. And now the new buzzword is work from home, work from home, work from home. The first question is, maybe in some industries like the IT, you can possibly work from home. But let me ask you, Babaji, how can you work from home in a construction industry, sir? Can you?
Absolutely not.
How can you work from home in a manufacturing industry? Can you? Answer is no, you can't. Now, I had a banker visit me the other day, and I asked him, I said, you are paying salaries to your people. Are you getting the output by working from home? He said, Mr. Khera, the 80-20 rule applies. Only 20% people are mature enough to work without supervision. They are responsible. But 80% people are not mature. They still need supervision. And even if you give them measurable targets, you still have to supervise them. And sadly, people who are not mature, they think working from home is a paid vacation. It's not. Working from home is not a paid vacation. Okay. Now, the next buzzword is, I'm saying this because I'm addressing college students here. You see, till now, the buzzword used to be globalization, globalization, globalization. Now, the new word is localization, localization, localization. Why is that? Because till now, production was 20,000 miles away from consumption. Now, all of a sudden, the consuming country has realized that the producing country can blackmail you and put you out of business in less than 5 minutes. I was shocked to read that America depends on China for 97% of the pharma products. Did you know that? America depends on China for 97% of pharma products. And not only that, India depends on China for 81% of the antibiotics. Babaji, did you know that? India depends on China for 70% electronics. So now people have realized that a producing country can blackmail you and put you out of business in less than 5 minutes. So now they realize that the production must come closer to consumption. Into the future, this is what you will see all over the world. Okay, now comes the next part is livelihood part. Livelihood and lifestyle. The third is lifestyle. Now, till the lockdown came in, all of us were in the fast lane. We were running. We were going all the way. We had no time. Where we were going, we didn't know, but we had no time. Look at this. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we have never had that many in history. And yet, we don't have what? We don't have what? We don't have time. You know why we don't have time, Babaji? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities. And I'm not lecturing here, I'm guilty myself. And whenever we mess up our priorities, we forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Now, urgent may or may not be important, important may or may not be urgent. But the interesting thing is, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. Now, health is important, but it's not urgent. Exercising every day is important, but it's not urgent. Now, if I have a crucial meeting tonight and if I cannot exercise, it's not the end of the world. But if I ignore my health long enough, guess what happens? I will land up in the hospital. And see, in life, relationships are important, but they're not urgent. But if you ignore relationship long enough, guess what happens? You start talking to your lawyers. See, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into
Urgency.
urgent. Now, what this lockdown has done is literally forced people to step backwards and reevaluate the direction. You ask people, why do you go to work? I go to work for my family. Why do you work hard? I work hard for my family. Who are the most important people in your life? My family. Who are the most neglected? Also my family. What a joke. The most important people also become the most neglected too. And I'm guilty myself. And what the lockdown has done is literally forced people to step backwards and say, buddy, till now you were running all right. Check, were you running in the right direction? And if you were not, you are going to far away. And now people have realized one thing, that in life, direction is much more important than speed. I repeat one more time. In life, direction is much more important than speed. Babaji, are you with me, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Now people have realized the priorities. You got to set your priorities right. Okay. Now, through history, There are only two examples of similar crises. One was the Spanish flu, which I'm not going to talk about. You must have heard enough of it. But I'm going to talk about the second part was the Great Depression of 1929. Banks failed, stock market crashed, people lost their savings. $100 became $15. And 15 million people lost the job in the US. Now, 15 million 100 years ago is equivalent to 50 million today. You know why? Because the population then was only 120 million. And I was just checking in US, about 40 to 50 million people are right now on unemployment list. Now, here is a silver lining. This is the one thing. Experience shows that whenever unemployment goes up, self-employment always goes up. How do you like that? Babaji, this is what it is. Whenever unemployment goes up, self-employment always goes up.
Yeah.
Now, during the Great Depression, people had no money. There were some people who started their business at that time, and today they are household words. They had no money, no education, no technology, no risk-taking ability, but they had one thing. They were solution-focused people. Have you noticed there are some people who are problem-focused? You know what that means? You give them a solution, they'll give you a problem. They have a problem for every solution. Henry Ford said, kick them out, kick them out. We don't want such people around here. I'm going to share only 3 examples with you. One was a man by the name of George Jenkins. In his neighborhood, he opened an outlet for non-perishable durable goods. These 2 words are very important. Non-perishable because if it perishes, it's a total loss. And durable means if they are not able to sell, at least the family could use it. This is how he started 100 years ago. And today, his turnover is $30 billion, net worth $6 billion, and he has 1,000 outlets in the US, and the store's name is called Public Supermarket. Go check it out in the Google, you'll find out. Second example was 2 brothers in California, Gallo brothers. They were struggling. They got some wine, made grapes out of it, grapes, and made wine out of it, but nobody had money to buy it. They started selling the wine at 50% below market. This is how it started 100 years ago. And today, Gallo Winery accounts for 25% of the wine trade in the US, and the valuations are close to $12 billion. Third example, there was a man by the name of Simplot. He had a patch of land, he started cultivating potatoes. Now, what he couldn't sell, they ate. What he couldn't, he started rotting. Now, he could not afford the loss of the rotten potatoes, so he started freezing them. And folks, this is how he started 100 years ago. And today, he accounts for 33% of the French fries business in the US, and his valuations are close to $10 billion. Now, why am I sharing all this with you? I don't want to leave my listeners with one impression that if you and I start a business, all of us will become billionaires. That is not the message at all. The message is only one thing, that all examples that I'm sharing with you, they had major problems, and many of them had much more problems than we are facing right now. But they were solution-focused people, and today we need to become solution-focused again. I'll repeat one sentence again. Think about it. How come under the same set of circumstances, some people break records while others break themselves? How come? Okay. Now, with that, let me share with you some steps how to overcome the crisis. Now, if I have time, I will cover all 9 steps normally I do, but if not, at least I will cover 5 or 6 of them if I can. And I'll go slow. If you want to note down, please do so. Step 1. Step 1 says, is the Serenity Prayer. Folks, about 45 years ago, in US, I attended a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book Power of Positive Thinking. There were 1,000 people. I was one of them. Dr. Peel came, looked at everybody, and said, "You people appear so cool, calm, and comfortable. Appears nobody has a problem here." Then he asked, "Does anybody have a problem here?" Now, who doesn't have a problem? So everybody raised their hand. Then he asked, "How many people would like to get rid of their problem?" Again, everybody raised their hand. And then Dr. Peel said, "While I was coming here, I came across a place where I saw some people lying down, all comfortable, totally stretched out, relaxed. They had no problem whatsoever. How many people would like to know where that place is?" Again, everybody raised their hand. And then Dr. Peel said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. There are people lying there, all stretched out, totally comfortable, relaxed. They have no problem whatsoever. Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of their problem? Nobody raised their hand. Everybody put their hand in their pocket. Baba ji, meri gal suni tusi ki og ne ki kya? ਕਹਿੰਦਾ 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery, ਸ਼ਮਸ਼ਾਨ ਘਾਟ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਲੇਟੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ. They're lying there, totally relaxed out, stretched out, comfortable. They have no problem. Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of the problem? किसी ने हाथ नहीं खड़ा किया. Everybody put their hand in the pocket. Then Dr. Peel said, remember, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. The day we don't have problem, we'll be dead. And when you're running short of problems, that is the time to get on your knees and pray to God. He will stop trusting me anymore. Send me some problems. And that day, he gave a prayer which is called the Serenity Prayer. And in my opinion, it is the gist of life. And for the past 45 years, I have never left my home without this prayer. And I have come across many adversities. This prayer has helped me overcome all of them. And I will say once in Hindi, English, and then once in Hindi, so for the viewers who can find it. And then I will get into it. It goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference what I can and what I cannot. परमात्मा मुझे संतुलन दो, जो मैं बदल नहीं सकता, आपकी सौगात समझ के स्वीकार करूं, और अगर बदल सकता हूं तो मुझे इतनी हिम्मत और हौसला दो कि मैं उसे बदल दूं, और इतनी सुबुद्धि दो कि उनमें फर्क बता सकूं, क्या बदल सकता हूं और क्या मैं नहीं बदल सकता. Analyze and dissect this prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, question is, can we change everything in this, the world, the way we want it? Answer is no. Can we mold and manipulate everything to suit ourselves? Answer is no. There are many things beyond us, such as, I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. I didn't decide where I was going to be born, and neither did you. If this is my height and the color of my skin, there's nothing I can do. And granted, sometimes people are born deformed. What wrong did they do? And sometimes bad things happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? How did this corona crisis come? Who knows? Nobody knows. It says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Because many times in life, we keep fighting the things we just cannot change, and we bring stress into our lives, and we become unproductive and become paralyzed. It says, if I cannot change, let me accept it graciously. And if I can change, then give me the guts to do it, and wisdom to know what I can and what I cannot. Now, when I wrote my new book, You Can Achieve More, which was launched in London last year, I took this thought 2 steps forward. And in my book, I have written that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. जिंदगी एक फैसला भी है और जिंदगी एक समझौता भी है. Life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. Seems like a contradiction, but not really. Now, how is life full of choices? So,
जी,
If I ill-treat you, I've chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I've chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? If I light up a cigarette, I've chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? And if I drink and drive, I have chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? And if I exercise every day, I've chosen to invite good health, haven't I? And if I eat too much every day, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? And hear this, Babaji, if I tell lies, I have chosen to lose my credibility, haven't I? And if I tell the truth, I have chosen to be a credible person, haven't I? See, life is full of choices. Now, we are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. सारी आजादी खत्म हो जाती है. We are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. Now, how is life full of compromises? In life, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. See, sometimes nature gives us a lemon. Choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade? That's our choice. Now, sometimes people ask me, Mr. Khera, that people who are successful, don't they make mistakes in life? And people who fail, don't they do positive things in life? And my answer is that people who succeed, they do make mistakes. But remember, making a mistake once in a while does not make anybody a failure. Repeating the same mistake again and again is what brings failure. And doing something positive once in a while does not bring success either. Repeating the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. What is success? Series of positive decisions in life is called success, and series of negative decisions in life is called failure. And that's about it. It is not complex, Babaji. People make it complex. It is simple. That's one. Step one is the Serenity Prayer. Step two, to overcome crisis, turn downtime to uptime. Turn wasted time to productive time. This book that I'm talking of, You Can Achieve More. I have mentioned a survey which was conducted in the US before the crisis. It said an average American watches 3 to 4 hours of TV per day. Now, it is not average American, average European, Indian, Australian, everybody is watching 3 to 4 hours of TV per day. And right now, there are people watching 8, 10 hours of TV per day. Now, this was before the crisis. So a man went to his friend who used to watch 4 hours of TV per day, and he asked him, how much did the TV cost you? And he said, $1,000. He said, you don't know how to calculate things in life. He said, what do you mean? He said, have you ever calculated the money value of your time? Canada, I have not done it, but here it is. If I make $100,000 per year, and if I work 2,000 hours per year, my hourly rate comes to $50 an hour. And he said, you watch 4 hours of TV per day. 50 times 4 is $200 per day. 365 1 year. It comes to close to $100,000 per year. That is more than your EMI on $1 million home. Babaji ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰਿਓ ਜੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ this TV did not cost you $1,000. This TV is costing you $100,000 per year, which is more than your EMI on $1 million home. He said, you don't know how to make calculations in life. Now, don't get me wrong. We all watch TV. It's nice. It relaxes us. There's a nice movie. But tell me, watching 4 hours of TV per day, what the hell are you doing? You are wasting your life. And those people who are acting there, they like it. The TRP goes up. They like you to watch it. Now, in the same book, I have written that that 85% of millionaires and billionaires in the world are first generation. Baba ji, ध्यान से सुनिए जी, 85% of millionaires and billionaires in the world are first generation. Only 15% coming from inheritance. And they were asked that, how did you achieve so much financial success in such a short time? And the answer was, we read books. How many books? 50 books a year. You know what 50 books a year means? One book a week. One book a week. Multi-millionaires and billionaires read one book a week. And I was reading on Warren Buffett. He reads 6 to 8 hours per day. Bill Gates is an avid reader. Imagine multi-millionaires and billionaires read one book a week. What does it tell you? There is a connection between learning and earning and learning and earning and learning and earning and learning. Learn more, earn more, learn more, earn more. Now, and they were asked, what kind of books do you read? And the answer was, we have no time to waste. We don't read fiction. We only read self-help books. You know why? One good idea is worth $1 million. Are you with me? One good idea is worth $1 million. And I've learned one more thing. That serious readers, they never borrow or lend books, never. Many times people come to me and they say, Mr. Khera, I got a great new book, I can lend it to you. I said, don't. Either give it to me, gift it to me, sell it to me, don't lend it to me. Why? Because I won't give it back to you. Why? Because when I read a good book, I always underline and make notes on the side. Why? Because I learned one thing. Reading a good book once is not good enough. Why? Because when you read a good book the second time, you don't find anything new in the book, but you find something new in yourself. And when you read the book third time, you don't find anything new in the book, but you find something new in yourself. And the fourth time, and the fifth time, and sixth time, and seventh time. Now, why am I sharing this with you, Soji? Because Arrow Electronics, it's a $26 billion company in US. They're my clients. Their managing director celebrated a bumper quarter in the last 90 days. Highest sales in the history of the company, $2 billion during the lockdown period. And they had an award function. They invited me to keynote. And I asked him, what do you attribute so much success to? And he said, Mr. Khera, you don't know, but I attended your program, leadership program, about 15, 20 years ago. And he said, I bought all your material, the books and everything. And he said, not only for myself, he said, I bought everything for my company, all my employees, I distributed that stuff. And he said, when I took over as a managing director, we had 2% market share. Today, we have 20% market share. And he said, I attribute the success to implementing what is written in your book. He said, I have read your book 20 times. और मैंने कहना बाई चांस तुसी पैराग्राफ कभी अपनी किताब तो भूल जाओ ना तो मैंने फोन कर दिया जे I will tell you where this paragraph is. I know your book by heart. And he said, we read your book once a year. Everybody in my company reads your book once a year. But you know something? There are some people who tell me, I've read your book once. I said, you wasted your time and money also. Zero. You wasted your time. Folks, why am I sharing this with you? For a very important reason. Because if during this crisis, if you have not upskilled yourself or become more knowledgeable or become healthy and fitter, you cannot blame that you did not have time. Babaji, if during this crisis, if you have not upskilled yourself or become more knowledgeable or become healthy and fitter, you cannot blame that you had no time. Now, why am I sharing these three things? Because the lockdown came in March. I did my first webinar on April 8th. Till April 8th, Balaji, मेरे को रखते ध्यान रखो बाकी पीछे बात इस करना तुसी. April 8th was the first program I did. Till April 8th, I was learning to do SMS to my grandchildren. Sir, I had not done a email in my life. I did not know how to open up a computer. I learned to operate the computer now. I'm not an expert. And in the last 6 months, this program that I'm doing for you tonight, it is the 139th webinar I'm doing here, 139th. And by the way, I'm not doing all free. I'm getting paid by Bank of America, by Fidelity, by all these companies. They're paying us for it. And I'm giving out dates for March. I have no time left. So one, I've upskilled myself. Two, there was a time I used to read 20, 30 books a year. In between, I dropped the habit. I've gone back into my books. Every day, I read 3 hours every day. Either I'm listening to a good video or reading a good book. 3 hours a day, I'm gaining more knowledge. And three, I have lost 6 kilos of weight. Balaji Channel, I have lost 6 kilos of weight. And I am feeling healthy and fitter, which I never felt 30 years ago. Man, if this crisis goes on for 2 more years, I'm laughing. It's good. It's a new business to me. I'm gaining more money. I'm gaining more knowledge, and I'm feeling healthier. Not that I want this crisis to continue, but what I'm sharing you is that we need to learn how to convert the crisis into uptime. If you have not become healthier or more knowledgeable or upskilled, then you wasted your time. You cannot say, I had no time. Okay, next step. Next step. To overcome the crisis, learn to build strong relationships in life. Folks, remember, that's our support group. Our biggest asset in life is not our bank balance. Our biggest asset in life is our relationship balance. Have you noticed people who have good relationships, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Are you with me? Hello? See, people who have good relationships, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. True? Balaji, is that right, sir? Yeah, stay with me, sir. Stay with me, please. Stay focused right here. Okay, I can see because you're probably doing something else. Stay with me. So that is crucial on the relationship part. And when we talk of relationships, we're talking of personal, professional, and social relationships. Personal is, let me ask you, if any one of us was hospitalized tonight, how many people will be around us? Maybe 1, 2, or 3, no more. And sadly, they are the most neglected also. And that is sad, but that is true. Okay, I found one thing, that people who are emotionally strong, they're coming out stronger out of this crisis. And people who are emotionally weak, they're falling apart. Now, when we talk of relationships, I address many business schools all over the world. And now in the business schools, I bet you must be teaching that too. They teach the students the power of networking. And for networking, they join associations, Chamber of Commerce's, Rotaries, Lions, and so on. And you ask them, what are you doing? And the answer is, I'm networking. And you ask them, why are you networking? And he said, I'm building contacts. Why are you building contacts? He said, I'm building contacts because someday he could be useful. Now look at this. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a politician, he's a moneyed guy. He could be useful someday. Now, usefulness goes, friendship also goes. You see, sadly, they don't understand the difference between building contacts versus building relationships. There's a big difference. Are you with me? There's a big difference between building contacts versus building relationships. Now, They are only learning to build contacts and no relationships. They don't know what it is. Now, we have an office in Singapore. And one evening, I came from dinner and a man met me in the lobby. And he asked me, Mr. Khera, you came from dinner? I said, yes. He said, you met some people tonight? I said, yes. And he said, I hope you met some people tonight who could be useful to you. Look at this guy. His only criteria of meeting people was usefulness. I felt like giving him a piece of my mind and something else. You see, he doesn't understand that meeting good people in life is good enough. Usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. Are you with me? Hello?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Balaji?
Sure.
I said something, sir. You see, stay with me, sir. I know you're distracted somewhere, Balaji. I can tell from your body language. Stay with me, sir. You see, important thing is usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. Meeting good people is good enough in life. Now, I share this because for an important reason. Supposing I have a friend of 20 years and tonight if he has a problem, who is the most natural person he will ask for help? The friend of 20 years. He's not going to make new friends tonight. Now, is it my duty to help? Answer is yes. By helping, am I doing a favor? No. If I don't helping, am I behaving like a friend? No. Remember this, helping a friend is a duty of a friend. It is never the purpose of friendship. Because if it is purpose finishes, friendship also finishes. I repeat, helping a friend is never the purpose of a friendship. It is a duty of a friend. It is always incidental to friendship, never the purpose of friendship. Now, what helps you build a relationship anyway? You can only build relationship in life by adding a value addition to another person's life. And how do you add a value addition to another person's life? By learning to give in life. You cannot only be a taker. There are people who are only looking to extract something out of you. They're selfish rascals. They're takers in life. You can never build relationship with people like that. Never. Now, what else builds a relationship? This is very important. Is you keep hearing the word that you should be tolerant in the life. You should be tolerant. Now, let me ask you. We always hear tolerance is a good word. Babaji, sir, tell me, if tolerance is a good word, yes, no? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Sir, incorrect answer. Let me share with you. I will replace the word tolerance with mutual respect. It is mutual respect. Sir, I and my wife live together, not because we can tolerate each other. We live together because we respect each other. The day we don't respect each other, we can't live together. You know what the word tolerance means? Postponing the blast. See, employer and employees work together long term, not because they can tolerate each other. They work long term together because they respect each other. The day respect is not there, you cannot work there. So we need to understand what builds a relationship is in life. We need to give in life. Now, what I have just shared with you in the last 1 hour, tell me, which business school in this world, all over the world, my two daughters have done their masters from US. Which business school is teaching all this stuff that I'm talking in the last 1 hour? Not one, zero.
Perfect.
The dean of James Cook University from Australia, they attended my program. And he said, Mr. Khera, I've been in academics for the past 25 years. And he said, we need this. And now they've signed up with us, they've partnered with us, and we are setting up a center of leadership excellence for them in the Singapore campus. And when we do corporate training, when we do corporate training, We tell our people, what I am doing in your corporation today is repair work, repairing. If you prepare them, you won't have to repair them. Where do you prepare them? You prepare them in schools and colleges, and sadly, they're not. We created a program for James Cook University, for schools and colleges, which says, prepare them, don't repair them. How do you like that? Prepare them, don't repair them. And that is crucial. Build strong relationships in life. In fact, for the last 6 years, we have been doing this program for Rajgiri Business School in India, in Cochin. Now, build strong relationships in life. Okay. Step four. Overcome any crisis, become a proactive person, not a reactive person. What does that mean? When we do our 3-4 day leadership program, I ask people, are you a good person? So many times they say, yes, I'm good. And you ask them, what makes you good? Well, they say, well, I don't do bad, so I'm good. I don't tell lies, I don't cheat, I don't steal, so I'm good. And my answer is, I disagree with you. Because, you see, not doing bad does not make a person good. If I don't tell lies, it only means I'm not a liar. If I don't steal, it only means I'm not a thief, but that does not make me good. Go ask a medical doctor. Absence of ill health does not mean good health. Are you with me? Absence of ill health does not mean good health. Similarly, not doing bad does not make a person good. A person becomes good when they proactively do good. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because I finished my last program and we had about 5,000-6,000 people attend my program. And one man came from the audience and he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? Well, I've learned one thing, that before you answer a question, you should clarify. And two, sometimes the best answer to a question is a question. So I asked him, sir, can you define a Gandhian to me? Can you give me the criteria of being a Gandhian? What are the principles of being a Gandhian? So the man thought a little bit and he said, Gandhi stood on 3 principles. He said, 1, Gandhi believed that with love, you can win everybody. 2, Gandhi believed in the principle of tolerance. 3, Gandhi believed in the principle of non-violence. 3 principles. Soiji, are you with me, sir? There are 3 principles. Soiji, are you with me? Okay. Hello? Okay. With love, you can win everybody, tolerance and non-violence. So then he asked me again, are you a Gandhian? I don't know what got into my mind. I said, look, I've been living in the US for the past 45 years, but I'm an Indian. And we respect our epics, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Guru Granth Sahib. And I said, I've not read them, but I've heard them. So I don't know what came to my mind. I asked him, sir, can you tell me, was Ram a Gandhian? Now let us look at your 3 principles. 1, you said, with love you can win everybody. Tell me, was Ram able to win with love? Answer is no. 2. So he failed the first test. 2, you said tolerance. Did Ram say I'm a very tolerant person? You kidnap my wife away, it's okay, I'll get a second one. You'll kidnap a second one, I'll get a third one. You'll kidnap a third one, I'll get a fourth one. Did he say that? He said, no, I don't tolerate kidnappers. 3, you said non-violence. I said, tell me, what did Ram do? He pulled out his weapon and he killed the evil. He killed the kidnapper. Even for self-defense, that is violence. That is violence. So I said, well, Ram failed all 3 tests. So he was not a Gandhian. And I said, I have been doing leadership program for the past 35 years, and I've learned one thing in my life, that a good leader always takes a stand for something and takes a stand against something. A good leader is never neutral. If you are neutral, you are a politician. Are you with me? A good leader takes a stand for something, takes a stand against something. They are not neutral. If you're neutral, you are a politician. And Ram didn't say, I have unconditional love. Ram didn't say, I need to look at things from your point of view. To hell with it. He said, I cannot look from his point of view. He's a kidnapper. If I look at from his point of view, I'll also become a kidnapper. So Ram failed the first, all 3 tests. And now, why go that far? Look at the Sikh gurus, 10 Sikh gurus. 10 Sikh Guru Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. When the Mughals were forcibly converting into Islam, was he able to win with love? Answer is no. Did he say, I will tolerate to terrorism? He said no. Did he pull out his weapon? He did. So he was not a Gandhian either. And I said, sir, be very clear. A good leader takes a stand for something and takes a stand against something. They are not neutral. And I said, sir, I am not a Gandhian. See carefully, I am not a Gandhian. Are you with me? I'm very clear. Okay. And next step. In order to overcome any crisis and overcome stress, we need to learn to accept responsibility. Stop playing the blame game. We need to learn to accept responsibility. Now, why do I share this? Because faith gives strength, but blind faith leading to superstition weakens people. I repeat, faith gives strength, but blind faith leading to superstition weakens people. Why am I sharing this with you? Because one of the biggest damage done to India has been done by our media, print media, electronic media. Anytime you turn the TV on, what do you see? You see a Babaji sitting there in saffron or white clothes with 3 tilaks here and 3 tilaks here. And he's saying, Naam bolo, kahan se bol rahe ho, bolo, janam tithi bolo, time bolo. Kehna Guruji pata nahi, kehna koi gal nahi. And he has a laptop right there. And he does tick, 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 tick. And he says, Tumhare pe putri dosh, patni dosh, pita dosh, falana dosh, ye dosh chal raha hai. And then you become manglik, ho gaya tu. And then he says, tere pe shani chal gaya, shani chal gaya, shani chal gaya. Now the guy is scared. And he says, how do I get rid of Shani? He says, I will tell you how to get rid of Shani. कहना है काला रुमाल लो, उसमें काली दाल डालो, काला काजल लगाओ, और फिर काले बाल वाला खोजो, काला कुत्ता खोजो, काला बर्तन खोजो. And he says, that is how Shani will go away. Now let me ask you. बाबा जी सवाल पूछना दोनों में. एक गल पूछना कि if it is so easy to get Shani in, Shani out, Shani in, Shani out, इतना सौखा हैगा तो मैंने यह दसो Shani to why don't we send Shani to Pakistan, destroy all the terrorists, मरवा दो ना.
Yeah. Very true.
मैं तुम्हें गल पूछना कि शनि ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸੌਖਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਲਿਜਾਣਾ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜ ਦਿਓ ਲਦਾਖ ਲੜਵਾ ਦਿਓ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਤੋਂ ਸਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਕਿ why does Shani permanently stay only in India? ਸ਼ਨੀ ਕਦੀ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ? permanently ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ why am I talking this here? Because if you read the life history of Swami Vivekanand, Dayanand, Guru Nanak ने सारी जिंदगी अंधविश्वास के खिलाफ लड़ाई की है. तुसी देखो सिखा विच कोई पत्थर नहीं मिलाते, कोई मंगली नहीं होता, कोई शुभ मुहूर्त नहीं निकलता. एंड हर शादी संडे ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ. संडे सूट नहीं करता, सैटरडे कर ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, सैटरडे नहीं सूट करता, फ्राइडे कर ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ. व्हाट इज द मैटर? एंड हियर ਇੱਥੇ ਖਾਲਸਾਲੇ बैठे हो, सारे बैठे हुए ने बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी बाबा जी ਉਹਦੇ पैर फड़े हुए ने. बाबा जी क्या करें, बाबा जी क्या करें? एक बाबा कहता बेटा प्रीत करो, वो प्रीत बेची जाता है. एक बाबा हनी बेच रहा है, तीजा हनी प्रीत मिक्स करके बेच रहा है. क्या बात होगी, कमाल होगी. उन्होंने पैर फड़ दे ने और जिन्होंने जेल छोड़ा चाहिए तो पैर फड़ रहे तो शर्म नहीं आती. What are we doing? And you look at this. मैं तुहानू दसना मेरी गल, हर शनिचरवार नूं तुसीं देखदे हो हर ट्रैफिक लाइट से 7 मरचा एक नींबू जाके बेच रहा. शनि उतार लो. अरे परमानेंटली सारी जिंदगी मरचा नींबू रखो ना पॉकेट पे. सर मैं तुहानू ये जेहड़ी गल कह रहा ना, पढ़ लिख के MBA PhD कुछ कर रहे हैं आज, वो सारी जिंदगी. एंड गुरु नानक फॉट अगेंस्ट ऑल दिस. ये दोनों एक आर्टिकल पढ़ो, जरा देखो, लिखा है सुपरस्टिशन. दिस इज एन आर्टिकल फ्रॉम In India today, January issue of 2018, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ that because of astrology and superstition, natural childbirth in many parts of India has gone down by 80%, which includes South India, and they have mentioned Bangalore, Hyderabad, Madras. 80% of childbirth there is done through C-section operation. You know why? Because some astrologer pandit ने कहा एक शुभ मुहूर्त है, बच्चा ऐसी टाइम कर लो बाहर. How do you like that? एक खेल तमाशा हो जाता है. ये देखो पढ़े लिखे कर रहे हैं सब. मैं तो नहीं दसना. Once I was going to the airport and the driver hit the brake so hard, गड्डी रुक गई एकदम. मैं उन्हें पूछा, मैं क्या what happened? कहता जी बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई. वो कहता बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई. मैं क्या now what? कहता जी गाड़ी रोक देते हैं, शुभ मुहूर्त है, जाएंगे कुछ नुकसान हो जाएगा. We'll lose something. मैं क्या मेरी फ्लाइट मिस होगी तो बहुत नुकसान हो जाएगा. तो मैं उन्हें पूछा, मैं क्या कब तक गाड़ी रोकोगे? कहता जब तक कोई दूसरी गाड़ी नहीं निकल जाए. मैंने कहा उसका नुकसान हो जाएगा. कहता that's his problem. कहता that's his problem, no problem. मैंने एक गल पूछी, मैं क्या दसो, supposing you are 15 yards behind and the cat had crossed the road and you had not seen the cat. In that case, you would have just gone straight and you would have been the first car. In that case, what would have happened? बाबा जी ध्यान नाल जवाब सुनिए जी. जिन्हें PhD की थी ना बिल्ली थे, कहना इस हालत में बिल्ली की पावर कम हो जाती है. How do you like? कहना बिल्ली की पावर. और तो फिर हंस रहे हो, पढ़े लिखे PhD ये कुछ कर रहे हैं आज, MBA करके ये कुछ कर रहे हैं. मैं खेत की गल नहीं कर रहा तो ना. This is what has weakened this country. 1000 साल की गुलामी तो ऐसे कुछ नहीं है गया.
Very true, very true.
Now, I'm sharing this with you because zindagi vich life always does not keep going up and up and up and up and up. Zindagi vich life is a roller coaster. Yes, no. Uppar thale dono hunda hai. True? Yes, no. तो ये जवाब दो ना. मेरे ना घर बात कर दे रहा करो. You see,
Yes.
life is a roller coaster, and when things go down in life,
Then you are bound to come up.
जिंदगी में किसे जाना है ना, they stop, they analyze, and they ask themselves a question: if a similar situation came again, will I behave the same way? If the answer is yes, means you have not learned anything. You see, they learn from it, take responsibility, and they don't repeat the same mistake again. But a person who's not getting anywhere, you know, when things go wrong, they say, not my fault, my stars are not favoring me. They will never learn anything from it, and they say, I'm unlucky. They'll keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again and again. Are you with me?
Sure.
Okay. Now, why am I sharing this with you? For a very important reason. Orega. Once, in my previous program, in the Q&As, Babaji gab ho gaye. I don't need to get him back here. Now, you see, in one of my previous programs,
I am here, sir.
तो मैंने एक बंदे ने पूछा, बाबा जी ध्यान नाल सुने जी. वो कहंदा लोकी जांदे ने मंदिर विच 10-10 12-12 घंटे दर्शन दी वेट करदे ने. 10 घंटे 12 घंटे. कहंदा is that faith or blind faith? वो विश्वास है या अंधविश्वास है? मेरा जवाब ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਗਾ. मैं क्या देखो एम है. I pray every day. Now, why do I pray? Because I believe in God. Now, why do I believe in God? Have I seen God? Who is God? Where is God? What is God? I have not seen God. What is God? Who is God? I don't have the answer. Now, if I don't have the answer, then why do I believe in God? I believe in God because there are so many things in this world which are totally unexplained. Now, unexplained could be miracles or mysteries. But this universe, the way it is created, it is not the work of any human. It is superhuman. It is superhuman can only be a superpower. And that superpower is what I call is God. That's all. But that's why I pray. And but in the last 45 years, barring 4, 5, 6 times, I have never gone to any temple. And I feel very strongly that 90% people who go to temples today, they go there out of fear than out of faith. ये नहीं करोगे ये हो जाएगा, ये नहीं करोगे ये हो जाएगा, ये नहीं करोगे ये हो जाएगा, ये डरा के मेरा सिर्फ कहना एक को मकसद देगा that we need to accept responsibility in life. Stop playing the blame game. And remember, faith gives strength, but blind faith weakens people. Leading to superstition, it weakens people. I don't have time, but you know the stories of Guru Nanak or Haridwar and so on. We know all those things another time. And last item I'm going to share here is this is time to give back. This is time to give back. God has blessed us with a nice home, honorable food, but many people don't have it. Many people don't have it. It is time for us to share with them. And there are many good people all over the world. And I've seen videos from New York, Europe, India, Australia, all over the world. Many people have come forward with money, food, and time, everything. But there is one community who has been honored all over the world. One community who has been honored all over the world. For the humanitarian service by the Government of Canada. Government of Canada has honored them. The Government of United States, Australia, New Zealand, UK has honored this one community for the humanitarian service. And that community is the pride of India, the Sikh community of India, who has been honored all over the world. You know why? You see, their concept of sharing is not new. It goes 500 years since Guru Nanak's time. The langar has been going on 500 years. This is not new because their principles are very clear. They believe they're caring people, they're sharing people, and they're daring people. They're caring people, they care. They're sharing people, they share. And they're daring people, they dare. They have the guts to fight. Why? Because a picture Guru Parv hoya last week, and I was reading on the Dasan Guru Rote. What was he called? He was called a warrior saint. Now, Sunya, he was a warrior saint. He was a warrior saint. जिन्होंने यकीन किया भक्ति के बिना शक्ति नहीं, शक्ति के बिना भक्ति नहीं. जुल्म करना पाप है, जुल्म सहना उससे भी बड़ा पाप है. क्यों? क्योंकि सिक्खी टिकी हुई तीन प्रिंसिपल थे. नाम जप, वांचक, किरत कर. नाम जप निरंकारी ईश्वर परमात्मा. Wanchak is the concept of sharing, and Kiratkar. Kiratkar is the concept of dignity of labor. मेहनत करके ईमानदारी नाल काम करके रोटी खाओ. एनु फर्क कहने ने there's a difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal, earning money is spiritual. ए बाबा जी ध्यान में सुने जी अपने टीचर थे राज सिखाओ. Making money is criminal, earning money is spiritual. You know what? When you earn money, you put your energy and ethics behind it. You see, this is the dignity of labor. उसी देखो दुनिया विच आज तक एक सरदार कोई सिख बेगर नहीं भीख मंगना नहीं मिलेगा. Never. They will clean your bathroom, they'll clean your toilet, they'll clean your shoes. They will not beg. This is not ahankar. This is humility, dignity of labor. And सबसे बड़ी बात की है कि in Sikhi there is no caste. There is no last name. Har Sardar, the last name है Singh, and every Sikh woman is a call. I wish in India, if we had adopted the philosophy of Guru Granth Sahib, and the Sikh philosophy to run India, to run this country instead of our own constitution, this country would have been totally a different country today. Folks, with those words, I will hand the floor back to you. I have already gone over an hour and a half almost. And Mandeep, beta, you take over the floor now from this point onwards.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really wonderful to listen to you and listen to your experience, your motivational words. As we are all aware that the most of the attendees and the participants are the students, the school level students, college level students, and we have already received many questions. So randomly, I am picking some of the questions, and this question is from Gitanjali, sir. With your permission, I would like to put forward the question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, Gitanjali is asking that, sir, we all know you as a motivational speaker. However, before this, you worked in various capacities and worked in various roles and profiles like a life insurance agent and a franchise owner. How did you change your setbacks into comebacks personally?
Let me explain to you. You see, whenever you do something, when I was washing cars, my eyes were somewhere else, but I was washing cars all right. That was a stepping stone for me in my life. And in fact, that was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life when I was selling life insurance. That was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. And I learned one thing, Mandeep, I learned one thing, that in life, how to learn to accept failures in life. You know something, in schools and colleges today, Babaji, today we are only teaching two things to our children. Succeed and win, succeed and win, succeed and win. Only two words, succeed and win. But we don't teach them that life always does not go up and up and up. It is a roller coaster. And we have never learned them that in failure does come in life. And you know something, since they have not learned how to fail, when they fail today, you know what is happening? They go on drugs, they go on depression, they commit suicide.
Sure.
And I just did a program for NHS in UK. And I did for medical doctors. And I was shocked to read that 40% of medical doctors are suffering from depression.
Yes.
And 17% of them have thought of committing suicide.
Yes.
My point is that everybody goes through setbacks in life, but remember one thing. I want to go back to my life insurance days. Now, keep in mind, I was on commission. I got no salary. I was on commission. If I didn't sell, I wouldn't get anything. But you know something? There were some people there who were getting salaries and they were not doing their job. And that is where I learned the difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal, earning money is spiritual. पैसे बनाने में और पैसे कमाने में बहुत फर्क है. You see, earning means you put your energy and ethics behind it. Two words. And that is what our people need to understand and learn.
So the next question is by Raghav, and he is a school student, and he's saying that, as you have mentioned, that there are a lot of people who go through depression, anxiety, and such kind of mental health issues. So as a student, we also get pressure from our teachers, our parents, to get good marks, good percentage. So how can we overcome such a pressure, especially during the times when we are most of the time staying with our families and attending the classes through online and virtually?
I'll answer Raghav's question. In fact, I'm going off tangent a little bit. Kindly forgive me. In fact, I'm going to your previous question.
Sure,
let me answer that one a little bit more elaborately. Because they talked of setback into comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you one thing. Look at the life history of all people who have done anything in life. They have done in spite of problem, not in absence of. Now, let me ask you, Mandeep, who was the greatest legend in martial art in this world? Ask your people, they'll give you an answer. Who was the greatest legend in martial art?
Perhaps
Bruce Lee, yes, sir. Bruce Lee.
Absolutely correct. Now, you got the right answer. Let me ask you, how many people of you people know here that Bruce Lee's one leg was shorter than the other by 1 inch? Did you know that? Bruce Lee's in my new book, You Can Achieve More, Bruce Lee's one leg was shorter than the other by 1 inch. Now, 1 mm, 2 mm, 3 mm can be seen in a person. 1 inch. And 2, his eyesight was -10. He could not see his opponent without lenses. And Bruce Lee practiced 5,000 punches per day. And he said, which I've written in my book, I'm not afraid of a person who knows 10,000 ways how to kick. He said, I'm afraid of a person who knows only one way, but practices 10,000 times. That's it. Now, was Bruce Lee an exception? Mandeep, was he an exception?
Of course, sir. He was.
Yes. Yes, no. Was Bruce Lee an exception?
Yes.
Okay, incorrect answer. Bruce Lee was not an exception. Let me share with you another example. You heard of the name called Michael Phelps? Michael Phelps created history. At Beijing, he won 8 gold medals. But so everybody knows the name Michael Phelps. He created history. But how many of you know that Michael Phelps fractured his hand 2 years prior to the Olympics, 24 months? He fractured his hand. And when the doctor said, you cannot get in the water anymore, you cannot get in the water anymore. And his doctor said, even if your hand does get repaired, question is, will it have the same strength? You're competing at the Olympics, not your neighborhood kids. Now, Michael Phelps was preparing for this event for a decade. And he told the doctor, I will go into the water. I will use my legs. I won't use my hands. He continued his practice. 2 years later, he created history, won 8 gold medals. And one of the event was 100 meters butterfly stroke. Guess what was the distance between him and the person who came second? 1/100th of a second. And it is attributed that when he had fractured his hand and he was practicing with his legs became so strong, the last point, that's what gave him the push. But now, this is my version, the press was there. And they said, Mr. Phelps, you won 8 gold medals, must be a lucky day. Must be a lucky day. Michael Phelps didn't like it. He said, you come here, I'll tell you how lucky I got. He said, in the last 4 years, I have trained 10,000 hours. And if you're good at maths, it translates into 2,500 hours per year. And if you're good at calculus, that translates into 8 hours per day, no Sunday. And he said, you go sit in the water for 8 hours every day for the next 4 years, your body will shrivel. And he asked him, did I get lucky? Did I get lucky? He said, luck is not designed to deliver you these things in life. You know why? He said, athletes train 15 years for 15 seconds of performance. Go ask them, did they get lucky? Mandeep, dobara gal karna. Athletes train 15 years for 15 seconds of performance. Go ask them, did they get lucky?
yeah, sure.
program ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਅੱਜ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. Tell me, how long did it take for me to prepare this program? How long did it take for me to prepare to do this program tonight? Mandeep, can you guess? Babaji, can you guess?
No, difficult.
कर रहा ना मैं 45 साल की preparation है आज सर.
Very true, very true.
You see, When and now was Michael Phelps a exception? No. Steve Jobs. If you listen to his speech at the convocation at the Stanford, you know what his first sentence was? I came to this world unwanted. The day he was born, he was put up for adoption. And then nobody wanted me in this world. Now, let me ask you, how many of people who are listening tonight were put up for adoption the night they were born, or they have one leg shorter than the other and hands fractured? You know something? Many of these people have done so much in the world, they had much bigger problem than we have, but they did it. And when we hear stories like this, real life stories, it forces us to redefine the word success. Success is not absence of problems, it is overcoming problems.
Absolutely.
Mandeep, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Success is not absence of problems, it is overcoming problems. And success is not measured by how high you go up in life, it is measured by how many times you bounce back when you fall down. That is success.
Absolutely.
Success is not measured by how we do as compared to others, but it is measured by how we do as compared to what we are capable of doing. Go check out athletes compete against themselves. They don't compete against others. And that is what success is all about. But what is the sad part? The sad part is that most people want to succeed in life. Everybody wants to succeed, but very few people are willing to pay the price to prepare to succeed in life. To see when you go so, Michael Phelps trained 10,000 hours in 4 years. You know something? If you and I train 10,000 hours in 4 years, you and I can be in the Olympics too. Question is, are we willing to do it? Answer is no. See, most people want to succeed, but very few people are willing to pay the price to prepare to succeed. उन्होंने पूछो, जरा सवाल पूछा, are you willing to pay this price? कहना ना, दौड़ जाएगा 2 मिनट में. So keep in mind, most people want to succeed. Very few people are willing to pay the price to prepare to succeed. तैयारी करो, that's the biggest thing in life. And मौका तुम्हें अपने आ जाएगा. You see, the saddest part is that when opportunity knocks and you are not prepared. The saddest part is that opportunity knocks and you are not prepared. That is the time opportunity आके चली जाती है. फिर क्या करोगे?
Perfect, sir. Perfectly true. Yes.
Opportunity अपने आप आ जाओगी.
Great, sir.
Thank you. Do I take your leave? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, thank you for answering this question. So we are now gonna run a poll for all the participants, as I have already mentioned at the beginning. So, sir, with your permission, can we start the poll, sir?
करो.
So the participants have to answer the questions that we will be running within 60 seconds. So the very first question is visible on your screen. The question is, Chandigarh University ranked as the #1 single institute for filling highest number of patents in India. Till date, how many patents in total have been filled by Chandigarh University? And the options are 650 plus, 800 plus, 850 plus, and 900 plus. So this is the question.
Okay, second question.
So we'll have the second question. Let's see how many participants do know about the question, the very first question that we have shown. And the second question is, which is the most popular quote from Shiv Khera's the international best-selling book, that is You Can Win. And the options are visible on your screens. You can choose any one of the questions, answers that are visible on your screen. And I must say, share with the participants that the 3 winners will be getting the signed books by Mr. Shiv Khera ji.
हो गया ठीक आराम है ना अभी ना लेकिन अभी कभी कभी हो गया
So let's see how many of you know about Shiv Khera ji. That what was the most popular quote from his book? You can win. So the next question that is of this poll, the third question is CUCAT 2021 was launched by which Union Minister of India? So this was the last and third question of this poll session and poll that we have run for this very session. The results will be declared by the admission cell of Chandigarh University, and the winners will get to know that they are the winners, and they will be getting the signed copies from Mr. Shiv Khera. So with this, I request Mr. Shiv Khera ji to kindly share like the tips that you would like to give these youngsters, these students at the end, the last things you would like to share with these students who have joined us today for this wonderful webinar.
Mandeep, beta, there are no tips and tricks in life. There's a lot of hard work. That's all I
Yes,
can
sir.
say.
I do agree with you, sir.
You see,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
you keep hearing saying, give me some tips and tricks of the trade. You know something, learn the trade, forget the tricks. Learn the trade. Leave the tricks to the cheats and crooks. Be a professional, learn the trade. Forget the tricks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir. So, before ending this wonderful session, I request our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Chandigarh University, Professor Dr. B.S. Sohi, to kindly share a vote of thanks with us.
Yes, on behalf of Chandigarh University, I have the profound privilege to offer a formal vote of thanks to our honorable motivational speaker, writer, and TED Talk speaker, and whatnot, I should put the word. This program being watched by thousands of our own students, the students who aspire to join higher education, and the students and faculty from our partner universities all around the globe. I must thank you, sir, for sparing time and being with the thousands and thousands of the youngsters and people like us as well, to give a new meaning of the life. All of us, of course, find bottle this roadblocks in our life at times, and think of quitting the situations and accept the defeat. That's the time when we need people like you, who contribute tremendously and bring the people back to the this road, so that they can achieve the goal of the life. That is one very important thing that we have learned from you. It's not youngsters, anybody and everybody, somewhere in life you have the roadblocks, of course, but you have brought that the winners have certain qualities. They have mental toughness. I heard that this mental toughness does not come in a day, as you dwelt in one of the lectures. It takes time to practice this for a long time, and then you are the successful person. Then cracking the opportunities coming in your way, converting the difficulties into opportunities, setting smart goals, and very clear wisdom as to what is my limitation, what is my strength, to know that what can I change and what can I not change. Positive attitude, all these things you have been talking about. But today it has been very lively interaction with the people. where you have talked about so many areas and try to converge on the wisdom that goes long way for their life. Like it's production versus consumption, then livelihood versus lifestyle, direction is more important than life. I'm just refreshing the points, and only the solution focused people succeed. And the existence of life is that you have the problems. If you don't have the problems, you are in the gray. And again, you have to have the irada, to have this choice. Then, of course, you have emphasized that you cannot be updated, you cannot be current if you don't read books. Read the materials from somewhere or the other. You have told the stories of successful people buying one book at least in a week and reading them repeatedly, whatever you think is useful, and upskill yourself through whatever means of technology or the books is available to you. Stay healthier, and then more important in life is your partnership. That's the relationship with the people. That's so very important. You have to be emotionally very strong, and building context and building a relationship. You have very clearly distinguished these two things. If you build relationships, other things come. All the help that you want in life automatically flows in if you have the relationship. If you have the context, maybe you have the short gains, but maybe you are not in the long run. So this is adding your value to the life, and then giving mutual respect to the people around. You cannot expect respect from others unless you are reciprocating. So a proactive life is a successful life. A good leader stands out for something and stands out against something very strongly. You cannot be a politician, sorry to say that you can change your stance. And then lastly, he has dwelt upon the superstition which kills the life of many. When it is a roadblock in the life, then it is good to come out of this, think rationally, and then have belief in God. Have belief in God. He mentioned that nobody has seen God, but things all around which are beyond our comprehension indicate to that there is some power which is there, which we cannot fathom, and we have to accept. Lastly, he has dwelt upon giving back to the society. This is very, very important. We always think of what can I get out of this, but having got everything in life, you have the duty to give back, and this principle is very well enshrined in particularly the six scriptures, more or less in every religion, if you dig it out and if you follow it. Overcoming the problems is and coming back, bouncing back, is should be the nature of a successful person. Otherwise, you can just be brooding around and you may not be succeeding at all. It's not that everything comes free. Hard work and the price that you have to pay, perseverance that you have to spend, and all this can be the guiding words, guiding principles of life. Like Honorable Pro-Chancellor already said that we follow you very much, and your words are sacred in a very sense of it, and can be the guiding principles of many of the youngsters. At the end, I must thank you, sir, that you have spared time and have been so interactive with all of us, and drove your point into the brains of all those who are listening to you. Yes, to close it, I'm on behalf of Chandigarh University, I'm thankful to our Honorable Chancellor, the Satnam Singh Sandhu, who always encourages to hold such programs, because apart from academics, personality development of a student, lifelong learning, lifelong takeaways from the academic institutions is what comes from programs like this. So he encourages us, and thanks are due to our Honorable Pro Chancellor, who has guided us for the successful program here. At the end, of course, it is Dr. Rajan, the Director of International Relations, Chandigarh University, whose team had untiring efforts to make it a success. It is not, if I stop here, it is huge team of people of Chandigarh University who work selflessly and untiringly and make the program success. With these words, I again thank you, sir, very much that you have been connected to us for long, and today you have spent more than an hour for our youngsters and the betterment of the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hugely honored, sir. Thank you so much. Grateful.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your precious time with us, and to our honorable dignitaries for being with us on this wonderful webinar. So I would like to end this wonderful webinar with a quote by our honorable guest, that is Mr. Shiv Khera ji, who said that